Well, but they're dirty now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're not. They didn't clean themselves.
I mean, never heard of self-cleaning sheets.
Crusty. Sleep in your eye? No, it's not sleep. That's something I do to go to sleep. I have to try to play Fortnite. It calms you down. You heard of Fortnite does? Fortnite Plus.
Hello and cheers, queers. Welcome to From Behind the Barcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, and drinking in general. I'm Paxton, that's Clint Moses, and we have Vincenzo on the Budweiser. It is episode 66.
On this
beautiful May 2nd.
It's 2022, in case you're really lost.
Welcome to our patrons who we love. You can find us at patreon.com/From Behind the Barcast if you want to help support, because that is the best way to support us besides subscribing to the YouTube channel and listening to us on Spotify. And by the way, on Spotify now, we mentioned it last week, but I'm trying to drive it home because a few people asked me, if you're listening on Spotify and you hear something that you're LOLing about and you want to see, if you want to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan yelling at me, pop your phone out and the video will be right there on Spotify. I hope everyone had a good weekend. It was very busy. And that's okay. It's becoming the season, but
becoming.
But I
even
found,
with the movie filming, people were still able to make it to Tybee.
Yeah. So I didn't even. So apparently they were shutting down parts of the only road on and off of Tybee.
Yeah. There's only one way on and off.
And even if people pull over for a flat tire, it can cause an hour's worth of.
Yes.
But
so they were filming for 5 minutes. And then allowing cars through for like 15 or 20. They
you might as well just do it for an hour. You know,
just get it over with.
Yeah, just get it over with.
Because
like every girl says when they sleep with you.
Yeah. Yes. Just get it over with.
Hey, yeah. So
it hurts sometimes.
So when you're busy at work, and we literally just talked about this. Clint was peeing downstairs. I was like, make sure you jiggle, and I'm in the handle.
Not my I got that when I was in the bathroom.
I knew immediately what he meant. I'm always a jiggler.
I was like, the handle. I thought he meant wiener.
No, but literally my first topic written down here on my analog notes is why I wear the color shorts I do to work. Because when we're busy, sometimes I have to pee off the deck. Sometimes I can't go to the actual bathroom. And I could jiggle my penis until the cows come home. And no matter what,
come home.
No matter what, when I resheath it, there's dribble. No matter what. I don't know if I got like prostate issues.
It's when you're peeing in a hurry. It's like there's always some.
There's dribble. So I wear certain color shorts so that you can't see. I can free bleed.
Free dribble?
I can free bleed basically. So I wear
that time of the month.
But you have a giant apron on no matter what.
I have on a white apron.
So you could just pee free and not even worry about the jiggle.
The thing is, though, I have to either take off the apron or you got to hold stuff and everything.
Oh, I guess so, yes.
I can't use my phone when I pee because I'm doing like 4 other things. A lot of people, but see, I work with some people that will take their apron off and then go in the bathroom, and I'm like, that's weird looking.
Yeah.
Like, just hold on to it or something. Like, I get when the girls do it, but then the guys do it too. And I'm like, the thing is, I've worked at this place for 6 years. None of the other guys that used to work there did it, but this new craft of guys are like, I need to take my.
But you guys have like the long
Amish. Taking off your pants all the way to the floor to pee in a urinal. I mean,
you have the long Amish aprons, don't you?
Bistro apron?
Yeah, is that what they're called? Amish aprons?
They're called bistro aprons. I've never heard it called an Amish apron one time. The Amish don't.
Well, you got to cover it down to your ankles, right? You don't want to upset God. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a chaste young man.
Yes, I don't want anybody looking at my ankles while I wait tables. Even though I wear short socks, so I wear like the thinnest pants.
Yeah.
Short socks. And I don't wear an undershirt, I just wear a shirt because it's hot sometimes in there. Because we're facing west, and our windows are 25 feet high. And so there's some tint on them, but like it just cooks in there in the summer.
Well, and it's very packed in there. It's a small space.
Yes.
So like even at Huckapoo's, which is open air, if there's 30 people in there, it is 85 degrees. If there's 60 people in there, it is 100 degrees. Like bodies just make heat.
Yes.
And in your restaurant, I mean, you're literally Tetrising through tables to get in.
When I work downstairs, oh my God, because we run up and downstairs all night.
Yeah.
Because like if I live far if I used to live on Tybee, so I would drink at like 8. Everybody's supposed to have a drink at like 9. I would have a drink at 8, so I could be sober by the time I had to drive. But if you have a drink at 8, you're running up and down the stairs, you just Hi,
Might as well have not
how's your
drank.
escargot? It's sizzling as my sweat hits the butter.
Extra salt. Here you go.
Extra
Drip, drip.
salt. Here you go.
So it was the weekend of bachelor and bachelorette parties. And we had, there was one like 24-year-old girl's like birthday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Might as well be a bachelorette party.
might as well. So there was this one night, I think it was Thursday, the confluence of both found each other. So it was like a middle school dance at first. There was 16 girls on the local side of the bar.
Okay.
And there are 20 raring to go boys on the other side. But they hadn't connected yet.
They hadn't had enough drinks.
Yeah. So
It's like a middle school dance.
it is
isn't
like a middle
In the
school
middle of
dance.
your
All
life.
the guys on one side.
A friend of mine posted a picture of her and like a bunch of girls on like a party bus, and she was like, "Party bus for the birthday," and like. There's a pole in there, but like she does the video, and they're all just kind of sitting there. Like one person's they're kind of grooving, sitting down, and I'm like, this is a before shot, because let me see this in 3 hours. They're going to be swinging on the pole, twerking all over each other.
Because is the pole to be if you're like standing and holding it, or is there a party bus like dance on this pole hooker?
Every party bus I've been on has had a
Maybe
pole for the most part.
both.
Yeah, because I've definitely been on a party bus, except there was no poles. There was just like the overhead
regular
handles.
bus grips.
Yeah, and so the two sides, it's like a standoff almost, and they're like trying to well up the energy. The girls are like they're not into it, but I overheard one of
On a
the
bachelorette party, there's a good chance there's a heavy confluence of married or taking women for whatever reason.
They weren't against the interaction, but they weren't looking for it either. And I heard this one girl. It was
They
hilarious.
weren't passing out Venmo cards.
Yeah, exactly. This one girl goes, I overheard her telling a little anecdote about something. She goes, yeah, he asked me to dance like 4 times. And I was like, listen, Buster, I know what you're trying to get after. I don't mind having fun, but I know you're trying to dance at me, dance with me to try and sleep with me, whatever. So anyways, after about an hour,
Yeah.
and after about an hour, and some of the dudes get the confidence, they roll over. Like 2 or 3 of them roll over.
You send over the hot ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, send over the best-looking dudes with the most game. They go over there.
That's probably not what happens. It's not the most desperate dudes with the worst game.
Yeah, the ones with the least self-awareness, probably. So they go over there, and they're like sort of hitting it off or whatever. Like it's going okay. So then some minutes pass, whatever. All the other guys on the other side, something happened within them or between them, and they decided it is time to go. Like they got to get their buddies out of there.
Out of the bar.
Out of the bar.
Other side of the bar. They were
Yeah,
like,
they just had to go for whatever. I think one of their buddies got too drunk. I really don't know what happened, but so they go over there to grab their 2 friends who are the liaisons. They exchanged a couple little numbers, or we're staying over here, this and that. But then all the dudes clear out, and all the girls are still there. So I got this buddy. His name's Robert. He comes in there. You would never look at this guy and go,
Bobo? You sent Bobo over there?
You would never look at this guy and go, he probably spits fire game and has the nuts or the bravado.
So Bobo.
Or the bravado to go over there. This dude, he walks over there and he sits down and he's like, what's up, ladies? And they're like, hey, what's up? They were kind of like resistant at first. He was like, I really love that hat. Is that like designer? She's like, oh my God, no, I got it from Amazon. He's like, I've never seen anything like that on Amazon. You got a pretty good eye. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much. This dude starts spitting fire. He's got every girl there.
I want to meet Robert now. I'm in.
He's the most unassuming dude. And it was the coolest, smoothest, cleanest game I've ever seen.
And did it.
Well, here's the thing. Just like before.
Every story has a set.
Just like before, someone in the girl group now has found a problem that they have to deal with, and they all have to get out of there. Right as this dude was making strides, and I was like,
get a number, bro. Get a number.
I was like, bravo. So, well,
it's hard to I'm a lot older now. I don't really get the bachelorette crowd's not going to be into my 40-year-old ass, but unless they have daddy issues, which is whatever.
I'm here for you.
But if you need a shoulder to cry on or a dick to lean on, it's fine. And when I was younger, I would bachelorette party, you wait on them, whatever. I end up hanging out with them, and it's so hard to land the plane because because other girls are trying to cock block, or you got the girl you're into is kind of into you, but another girl's into you more. And they're trying to make you switch or whatever, and like it's an uphill battle.
It's an uphill battle.
And if you're alone, Mr. Robert, it is an uphill battle.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean, it's happened. But
he just looked like the guy that wasn't gonna rape you. You know what I mean? Like, that helps.
That
does
really
help.
helps.
That does help.
You know, because there's
So it wasn't Bobo.
So there's really good-looking guys, but you're like, he'll rape you. He could be super nice, very handsome, well put together.
I didn't think we'd bring up Winky so fast.
He'll rape you.
No.
Just kidding. I'm just
Good
kidding.
God.
Winky. I saw
Good
Winky
God.
the other day. Yesterday, he was like, "You shit talking MFer," and I was like,
Well, he keeps mentioning it. I'm like, if you just listened one time,
Yeah.
we would completely stop talking about
Yeah.
you. But this angers you so much
Yeah.
that we are going to continue to do it.
"Yeah."
So yeah.
I need a book report on the podcast.
So
okay?
so the girls dip out, and I was like, damn, man, that could have, that could have went a different way. And then literally 2 nights later, same situation. The same dudes kind of were in there, but not all 16 of them.
But it's the same group.
Same group of guys, just a portion of them, and then a whole nother bachelorette party or whatever.
Okay.
And it was all they knew not to waste their time, like
They learned their lesson.
They learned their lesson.
because like even back in the day, I could never do a cold call.
I'm not the cold call
I
guy.
can't cold call.
I don't like it.
I just don't like hitting. I know how most girls feel about getting hit on in a bar,
Especially
so
cold call.
I don't want to
head
do
on.
it.
Well, and the thing is, this was before I was in the service industry too. When you're in the service industry as a bartender or whatever, you have to interact with them.
Right.
So,
So,
you
yeah,
know,
if you're-
so the awkwardness of like, so hey, you want to meet me?
Nice hat.
Is that designer? Man, I was listening to this. I was like, this guy's
If you're,
amazing.
if you're listening and I use this line on you, I'm sorry.
Like, hey, could you put a hat on real quick for me?
Put this on. Nice hat.
How was your weekend over there at the?
Well, it was the NFL draft this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the University of motherfucking Georgia with 15 draft picks in the first 6 rounds, breaking the all-time record, which was 7 rounds for 14 picks from LSU
wow.
2 years ago or last year. Just crushing it. Oh, and
So are we going to be terrible this year then?
the most defensive players ever taken in the first round
Oh, wow.
was by the University of Georgia. Georgia Kirby Smart's now tied for Georgia's now tied for most first round picks. Also, just boys, Kirby Smart developing and the first round
Natties.
defensive players is like a 4-star, 2 3-stars, a 2-star, and a walk-on that were developed, which shows the coaching prowess that he developed these players. I mean, Big Jordan Davis was a 2-star.
Yeah.
And he developed this boy into a first-round draft pick.
Oh, wow.
Which speaks volumes
About-
for the University of Georgia. But as you just said, are we going to suck this year? Goddamn no, because we're amazing. And, like,
We're coming right
4 of
back.
those guys weren't starters. Like, they rotated a lot of guys in and out.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be just fine. We'll have 4 of the top 6 tight ends in the country next year. I think we're going to be okay.
So speaking of Bobo and the draft, you were talking about him. So our dishwasher, autism, slight OCD.
He wears Houston Oilers jersey or something.
Anyway, actually, Kyle bought him a.
I would say slight autism, massive OCD.
Massive OCD, yeah.
Yeah.
So the draft is about to come on, and there was a ticker, and it was like 3 hours and 18 minutes till the draft. Every time I walk through the kitchen, Bob would go, 3 hours and 7 minutes until the draft. What? So after the draft was over, I kept walking in the kitchen like, hey, Bob, could you tell me when the draft is starting? He's like,
Just
23 hours and 8 minutes for the next day countdown.
well, so if you're listening, you probably know Bob, our friend Bobo, but he'll tell you every score of every game.
Oh, yeah. And what's on every
In
team
real
tomorrow.
time,
you walk in.
Every time you walk in, he'll be like, it's 4-0 now. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching the TV outside.
I see
man.
the TV also. Thank you.
Softball on Tybee. He'll come in on Tuesday and be like, so last night IGA played Huckapoos, and it was 17-4. But
Does he listen to the podcast? Can you keep track of our Karens and Darrens for us?
he definitely knows how to use Spotify on his phone, so he should.
Yeah. So I didn't use all 5 minutes. So there's more.
Oh, my
This is a big week in nerddom.
Okay.
Bobbo would have like an.
It's Star Wars Day on.
I was about to say both of you.
It's
I was
on
like,
Wednesday,
both
it's Star
of
Wars
these
Day.
guys are wearing Star Wars.
So if you'd
shirts.
like to join our party, we have brought you a Star Wars shirt to borrow.
Oh, the
Unfortunately,
X-Wings.
I thought it would be really cool if we had a Star Trek shirt, but neither one of us owned those. That would have been great. If
You
you were wearing
literally
a Star
couldn't
Trek
find
shirt.
I'll put it
Star
on during
Trek
the second
shirt.
half.
During the break,
then.
if you'd like to join the Star Wars Fest, and Vinny and I, well, maybe not. I'm going to see the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness on Thursday on Revenge of the Fifth, and I got the last ticket before the podcast started. I think some will open up, people will cancel and stuff and get their money back, but for now, I'm going alone for the first time ever.
Is that like an opening? Or, so if you do go alone, are you still going to bring your own bottle of champagne, or
That's a good question. Probably not. Yes.
are you going to wrap up a Baldino sub in your fanny
Chick-fil-A.
pack?
I mean,
make everyone jealous with the smell of Chick-fil-A in
the
the
Chick-fil-A
theater.
smells.
As soon as you open a Chick-fil-A anywhere in
Everyone
any
knows.
size, even over the smell of the
nice thing, if I'm
buttered
alone,
popcorn.
I can come in late and get a good seat because I can just go sit next to somebody that was like, people space out. Like,
Yeah.
we'll leave 2 seats between us and the next person just to have some room.
Yeah.
Or you sit down and you space out one by one, and then you kind of move over or whatever, so you have space. I'll find that person and go sit next to somebody.
If you just bring 2 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, you can walk by them and go, "Can I sit next to you?"
Oh, like you can sit in my lap.
Pop that foil open.
I'm a vegetarian.
I got Chick-fil-A sauce.
So speaking of May the 4th, be with you, Star Wars Day.
It's
Dooley's birthday.
Oh,
Shout out to my dog who listens to this podcast, but doesn't really know what's
he's
going
the
on.
podcast mascot.
When it comes on, when it's on the speaker when I'm walking around the house doing stuff, it doesn't really bother him. I turn it on the YouTube, and he's just like, he's looking up at me and looking over at me like, what in the hell is going on here? There's 2 of them now.
He's like, we really are in the
I
simulation.
need double pets. I want double the pets. Other birthdays this week. My brother-in-law, Sean, is on Revenge of the 5th. Shout out to Sean. Happy birthday, my
Happy
brother.
birthday, Sean.
I've never heard of this. Is going down the nerddom.
It's May the 4th be with you, and then Revenge of the 5th is the next day. So, like Revenge of the Sith, you get it? Okay, cool. Also, happy birthday to Duke MacArthur. His birthday is also on May the 4th.
Is it really?
Yes. I knew you wouldn't remember.
Is that what I put?
Yeah, you put it in May the 4th. You're right.
You don't even remember.
No, so Duke, happy birthday, Duke.
So the only way I can log into
Maybe we get a
that,
clip from Duke on the break or
We need
something.
a May the 4th Star Trek Duke.
the only way that I can
Drain the Galaxy.
I did.
Hashtag Drain the Galaxy.
That's beautiful.
The only way that I can enter into that Facebook account is on a computer that is long dead. So it's been.
You can't get in.
I can't even look at the shit. So.
Well, damn. Some other people, Jenna Balcom, shout out. Happy birthday to her. My
you,
stepbrother Dylan's birthday this week. Saran, my old boss, great guy, happy birthday. Casey Miller, I don't know if you listen. Lydia, I know you listen. Happy birthday to Lydia. And big happy birthday to Grant Nelson on Saturday. Big Daddy Grant Nelson. Happy birthday, my brother.
Our number 1 fan.
Who is such a compulsive gambler. He wanted to ask if we wanted to put money down on the Kentucky Derby, and he would, match what we did or whatever, because he loves to gamble on horses. His dad owned a horse, so he grew up going to horse tracks, and that dude, we made, we had that $1 and $2 bet. We make bets all the time, which I lost this damn $1 bill last week, like an idiot. But anyways, not lost it physically. I physically lost it back to him.
Oh, okay.
I mailed him $1 with some Barcast stickers and cards. But so he just loves to gamble. Any excuse to gamble, he's like, I'm in. I'm like,
That sounds like Eric Thomas. Like
the Super Bowl, 30 bets. If you're with him during the Super Bowl, it's like coin flip, length of the national anthem, what color eyes the singer singer has on. Like everything is crazy.
Yeah, the prop bets, whatever.
He is. He loves the prop bets.
Because I went on a cruise one time, and
and I got Dooley a big giant bed for his birthday. Like a tall bed.
Well, he's a big boy.
Well, it's good for tall dogs, so they get up. They're standing up. They're not having to get up off the ground to cause more.
Do you have
problems.
a food bowl that's up off the ground for him, so he doesn't have to crane his neck down?
No, because that keeps him from eating too fast. If it's up high, he's got better access to it. But my dad's neighbor, unfortunately, bought one for his dog, and it's like this was a $250 dog bed, and it's 10 inches tall. And his dog, unfortunately, passed away like a couple months later. So my dad was like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it's my dog's favorite bed.
Oh, nice.
He loves it.
Besides Daddy's lap?
Yeah.
Are you a degenerate gambler?
No, I'm not. I'm a very conservative gambler.
So,
I mean, I'll bet like $1 or $5.
Yeah.
But I don't go past 20.
Well, here's the thing.
If I say I'll bet you $100, I know that I am winning. So don't bet me. Or do.
I was on a
Take
cruise
chance.
one time, and our friend Danny, whose son's birthday was yesterday. Way to shout him out, Clint. Jesus. Happy
We shouted him
birthday,
out last
David.
week.
Anyways, well, so we're on the cruise, and he's like, I figured out 3-card poker. I'm like, no, you didn't. You won a couple times.
Whispered it to you really
Oh
closely.
my
too, didn't
god!
they?
Oh my god! I wish Rob Kitson had been there for that because Rob is a good blackjack player and would have been like.
Okay, so you can be
Rob just caught his first Marlin. Shout out Rob.
you
Congratulations
can be
on Marlin.
pretty good at blackjack if you have slight autism.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean.
You can count cards.
And
for
if you
blackjack.
count cards, whatever. You
But-
cannot be good at 3-card poker or roulette or.
Do you maybe you meant 3-card Monty?
No.
I don't think they have that on cruise ships.
Because I watched him play it, he goes, "All right, I figured it out. All right, let's pull together like $4,000, and I'll win us back like 16." I was like,
I
was like, no. And he was so close to my ear when he told her, and I was like, I think I'd smell $4,000 in Jägermeister.
I think I gotta go.
You know how hot Jägermeister smells? Okay, I know we might have told this story before, but we had a Christmas party one time, and our owners thought it would be cool to get us a Jaeger fountain.
Yeah.
The only thing was the cooling mechanism effed up in the Jaeger fountain. So it's warm Jaeger just pouring out of this thing. It's like a chocolate fountain. You couldn't get within 5 feet of it. I'd be like,
Why not an ice luge? Those things.
oh,
those
yeah.
shot
I mean,
luges?
we've had ice luges before.
Yeah. But with Jaeger, it would work.
But this
you
was-
want Jaeger cold. Warm Jaeger. Look, I can drink a lot of warm alcohols.
Yeah.
Jaeger is not one of
I
them.
mean, I can drink like some warm scotch, or
Yeah,
even
I can drink
bourbon
vodka
or
whatever,
something,
but not.
yeah.
I think the last time I drank Jaeger, it was with Danny because I don't drink Jaeger
I'm
because
not
I'm
even
an
sure
adult.
he drinks it anymore.
He wasn't drinking it yesterday.
In the right situation, I'm sure he's
I
doing.
mean,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah. You get him in a bar.
If he's winning at some 3-card poker, the Jaegers are going down.
Oh, I am
baby.
sure.
And he starts saying, "Let me tell you something."
No, he will get so close. He'll be like, hey, listen up, man.
We need to have him and
Braves won
Travis do a real talk off. We can maybe get Taylor Tillman in there too. Some of we need to have a real talk, like a real talk Olympics.
There's not enough space in a room for all the words that would be
I
said.
know.
The room would fill up with words.
We didn't
Or
have to
enough
make our own.
brain cells to remember.
Who would you? But who would you think of degenerate bets? Who would you bet on in the real talk Olympics?
Oh, Travis, 100%.
Travis, 100%.
100%.
Because he's got a big body, so we can trap you.
And he won't give up because no matter whether you agree or disagree with him, he's still gonna listen. No,
I'm
listen.
taking Danny.
No,
Oh.
see, Danny will at least concede. He'll be like, yes, I
I
agree
don't
with
think
you.
so.
Well, speaking of birthdays and the shout outs, I just reconnected with a very old school friend of mine who used to live in St. Simons. And I was like, hey, man, glad to get back in touch with you. And it reminded me of this legendary story about him. I met him when I lived in Brunswick. He worked at a CD store. If you kids remember what
A
those
CD
are.
store?
It was like a FYE or something,
Oh, my God.
whatever, you know.
Those aren't doing too
Goody.
good right now.
So I met him, and then and we became like pretty close really quick. And like a month later was my birthday. So I lived. It was my first apartment, not living at home. I was 19. I was turning 20, and I worked at this bar called O. Henry's, and I worked in the kitchen. And we had free pool tables, everything. There was a loft apartment upstairs that I rent, 2 bedrooms that I rented for $200 a month, which they just took out of my check. No utilities.
That's a steal.
I am 19 years old, living real good, living real nice.
What you
So-
think was real nice, at least.
So yeah,
Good time.
exactly, yeah. So my birthday's coming up, and we've connected or whatever. He's like, hey, it's your, it's like Thursday. He's like, your birthday's Friday. Let's eat a roll. And I was like, hell yeah. He's like, man, I got 2. We'll just, me and you'll eat them.
Cuddle up.
Yeah, right.
Cozy. Rub all each other.
So he comes to the house. We're having the party at my house. My other roommate went to Jacksonville to buy 200 ecstasy pills to supply the party. So he comes back with those. We're all having a really great time for an hour. Really great time for an hour. And I start looking around, and no one else is as happy as my buddy and I. Turns out my buddy went and bought 200 aspirins.
Or mini thins or whatever. Like, people do that. They call them. They're called crosses.
Crosses, yeah.
Yeah, it's a mini thin or whatever.
This party went south so fucking fast.
Not for you guys.
And everyone was fine. I was like, why is everyone so mad, man? So me and my buddy are just like, we left my own party. And we went and drove around, like just listening to music as loud as we could.
Because you had a big
It's
collection
having
of
the
CDs.
greatest time
Having
ever.
the best time.
You can do anything like.
Meanwhile, my
house.
house is probably getting trashed. There's people fighting and.
God, and the thing is, one of those guys was like, "I'm eating 4 of these. My headache's gone, but other than that, I don't feel anything different."
He had no hangover. the next day.
Yeah, I didn't do hangover the next day. Speaking of shout outs, Edo. Shout out to Edo for finally coming through with the PS4. Hopefully you've gotten your PS5 that you don't have yet, per the deal. By the time you hear
When
this.
he came into work yesterday, I was like, look at my big, brave boy. He went over there and got it for me. Because he was sketchy about going to get it.
I was going to
because-
go with it because he didn't want to get into a fight with the guy I used to live with
Yeah.
or whatever. And I was like, I'll go with you.
So
as a
did he
little
tell
escort.
you? Did he tell you what was included in the package of the PS4?
No.
A warm bottle of PP. They pissed. They pissed. I didn't know what his situation with this older roommate was, but apparently it was
taste it?
It was.
I didn't know it was pee-pee.
Let me make sure.
Yeah.
like
Did he
seeing a
put
dumb
it on
number.
top of the PlayStation?
I guess it was in like a shoebox or something, and it was like PlayStation, 6 games, and bottle of pee.
That's some Amber Heard shit right there, dude.
Wow. So it's a PPS4. Here's your PPS4. The drive doesn't work. You pee in the drive too.
I was going to say the disk drive doesn't work, so maybe
Maybe there's some
must
jizz in
have
that jizz. It's a jizz drive now.
And before we hit the break, too, speaking of our patrons, we had another Scott Jacobs
It's the same person though. They're not on there.
Okay, well then,
I can double check, but I looked at it when it happened. I was like, what?
If
It's like Patreon accidentally sent us the email again.
okay, because it's like congratulations, meet your new patron.
See, when you
Scott
go to new
Jacobs
patrons,
again.
he's not on the new patrons list.
Oh, okay, because I was like, man, we're getting trolled, or
I was just hoping everyone was getting cheeky.
I was
what I'm saying.
I was hoping everybody would be
deep.
Scott Jacobs
We're getting
now.
deep into the podcast.
I was
now.
hoping that we
But
would
I
have
looked, it was the same email address.
okay. I was hoping we'd have 10.
But we did say the email address on the internet, on the podcast, so they could have been like, okay, I'll just also use this fake email address.
Wow, yeah.
What if they're all together, though? It's a group of Scott Jacobses.
I mean, there are multiple Scott Jacobs.
Yeah, one won an Emmy, and it's not the one we were talked about.
Well, whoever this is, it could win an Emmy for acting.
Yes, yes.
If they've been getting it's like this.
It was directing, I believe.
What if our whole Patreon was just like everyone?
Scotty
Scotty
Jacobs. Jacobs with two S's.
Scott Jacobs.
Scott Jacobs, yeah. The real Scott Jacobs.
Edo just got some Jacobs with that PS4, actually.
What did he do with the P?
He gave it to a truck driver, I guess, or a meth head.
I mean, hey, you got to recycle, right? I guess you would just touch it and know it's pee.
I mean,
When I was in like middle school, I went to a party and then they handed me a drink and I went to take a sip and everyone's staring at me and I'm like, what are y'all staring at? And everyone was looking at me and I was like, what? And everyone was looking at me and I was like smelling the drink and was like,
that's a dumb way to try and prank
so
someone.
the guy handed it to me. I throw it on him, and they're all like, "Ugh!" And I was like, and they were
That's
like,
what you get.
Then I had to beat up Nick Levelsmeyer after that, but not that day. I would have told you it didn't smell like pee, but I beat him up at school the next day. I saw him. It was like, you asshole! You tried to give me a pee drink.
Was it on ice?
Yeah. I mean, I was 14. I didn't know much better.
You know,
about alcohol.
that's a highfalutin cocktail in certain parts of Russia.
I didn't ask what he mixed it with. I mean, what was this? Actually, it was. I do it with Grey Goose. Okay, it's a Grey Goose and pizza.
No, I drank Grey Goose yesterday all day.
that's what it is. It'd be some really dark. It's mellow yellow.
I know, because I've gone in the bathroom behind some people at Huckapoos that don't flush the toilet.
And you're like, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay?
Something is happening to your body.
I have seen some of these people before and be like, what is wrong with you? Or like you're peeing next to somebody outside and you're like, hey man, hey bro, that ain't asparagus. Like, what's going on with your life right now? Why do you smell like this?
How long does it take asparagus to affect your pee-pee smell?
It takes about 20 minutes.
5 minutes. For me.
It takes about 20 minutes for everybody.
When I'm chewing on the asparagus, my pee starts to
while
sing.
you pee? Have you done your own research? Okay, not this one. Okay, there it is.
And then one time I ate beet chips.
I wonder if they had his buddy or ex-buddy.
I wish he would have shown me a picture. He could have been like, I just diagnosed you with kidney disease. You know, back in the day, they used to pee in like giant, like doctors. They would be like, pee in the jar. They would look at it in the sun, take a little sip of it, and be like, oh, you need more sugar in your diet.
Yes. You can taste the sweetness of the pee.
My kind of doctor.
Yeah. Hey, R. Kelly is a great doctor.
He's
a prison doctor now. Have you seen the videos of him singing
yeah,
in prison?
He's singing in prison for these
and like,
people.
I haven't.
Look, and they're jailhouse phone videos,
Yeah.
so like the phones aren't great, and he sounds amazing a cappella in a prison. And like
There's good acoustics in
and
there.
the guys will be like, yeah, and someone's like, shut the fuck up, man. Oh, no, like they're trying to get them quiet so you can hear him sing.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then he'll like video chat with girls and sing to them.
Isn't that weird, though? Because chomos, normally, you go to prison, you get fucked, buddy. But
Yeah.
if you're a chomo
He
who
is
can
singing
sing...
his way out of sex.
Yeah, exactly. He's singing his way out of sodomy.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe he likes the sodomy.
Let me sing out of sodomy.
But he wants to be the sodomizer.
Yeah, well,
Not the sodomizee. Did I say it? You know, hey, I want to drip, drip,
Hey,
drip,
if you're in
pee, pee,
prison with
pee.
R. Kelly, sodomize him.
Fuck R. Kelly.
We'll see you after the break. I can't turn this off.
I couldn't turn her off.
Hey, well, welcome back.
Oh.
We forgot to mention what we were drinking earlier.
We are drinking stuff.
This is a Svedka, and I went and got the weirdest Red Bulls I could find.
What was the other one?
It was dragon fruit, and then this one is blueberry, I guess. But the thing was, the dragon fruit was in a green can, but it was purple drink when it came
That's
out.
I like it 'cause it's purple.
I was like, why you be in a green can if it's just purple?
Shirt, and Paxton in his Star Wars shirt.
And now I'm wearing the gift Star Wars. He goes, this is not a gift. This is not.
I only
a
have
gift.
9 whole Star Wars shirts. Okay? Charlotte texted me today and was like, "Can I get a Star Wars shirt for Star Wars Day?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I brought 2 shirts in the car. That one, and then I pulled up one that it's got Darth Vader on it. It says, "Come to the Georgia side." It's got a Georgia G on it too. So she was like, "Duh, that one."
Wow, both of your favorite things together.
Oh, I've got a Darth Vader one. It's a baseball shirt. It's Darth Vader swinging a lightsaber hitting a baseball. I just need to go.
As the MLB logo.
The
though.
MLB logo,
Oh,
was Darth
nice,
Vader.
yeah,
yeah.
But I need to start wearing it because when I was really big, it was a little. It was the guns just popped a little too much, and I can't keep those Star Wars.
Moving
girls off me.
Can't
on,
keep the guns at
moving
bay.
on. There's some blue curacao downstairs.
Oh, so I was drinking Svedka and my first ever purchased seltzer.
High Noon.
Sun Sips vodka and soda watermelon made with real juice. And I was like, I'm going to try something different. So I bought these and was like,
Mix it with vodka because
but it
that's a
tastes like
thing.
it's set in a truck next to watermelon. Not that it's actually watermelon. But I was like, on the break, I was like, well, more flavor here. So I poured some blue curacao in there. Not gonna lie, this is all right.
So that led to, I was like, oh yeah, because that's literally the only alcohol that's currently in the
You
house.
can't leave alcohol here.
You can't leave alcohol here because it gonna get drank.
I tried that once and was like, I came back and was like, you get that vodka still? He's like,
But
what
the
vodka?
blue curacao, yet it still sits on the.
Yeah, the blue curacao, it's got longevity.
It's been surviving.
The bitters also has got longevity.
The only bit that's missing.
If I come back one day and the bitters and blue curacao are gone, I'm like, what happened to you this weekend?
The only bit that's missing from the bottle of blue curacao right now, besides what you just poured into your drink, was the other
We've
night.
used on other podcasts.
The other night it wasn't 6:30 in the morning, so I couldn't put on my golf attire and go buy beer. It was like 3 in the morning, and I was out of alcohol, so I had half a bottle of Powerade left. And I just dumped 2 shots of the blue curacao in there. And I took a sip of it. I was like, nope, got to chug it.
like cough medicine.
It was disgusting.
We're literally like our friends' parents now. All they got is blue curacao.
curacao, let's
drink
figure
it.
something out.
Let's go.
When I was like 13, second time I got drunk. First time was when I puked on myself and put the same shirt on. That's a Patreon story. So subscribe to patreon.com/FromBehindTheBarcast to hear me talk about puking all over myself.
That's a good one.
It was in hindsight, yeah. But so I didn't know a lot about alcohol. So me and my friend Peter, shout out my buddy Peter, and our friend Brent Svensson, shout out to Brent. We went behind my parents. My dad had a full bar, and we didn't know about booze. So what we did is took a jump rope for heart bottle and poured a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We made a
suicide?
suicide. But it was like, we didn't know what anything was, so it was probably like 3 different scotches.
I was going to say, it was probably
bourbon.
scotch.
It was a little bit of everything, and we were trying to drink it. Like, we each made our own little one, and we're trying to drink it, and they're over there drunk. I'm like squirting mine on the ground because I just can't stomach this.
Blue suicide.
Yeah, it was a mess.
The
was a
suggestion of the
mess.
week, this is called a blue suicide. It's 3 different scotches.
It's Jack Daniels, vodka, blue curacao.
Blue
'cause why
curacao,
not?
for sure.
For sure, that's the main ingredient.
Half a bottle of bitters.
And some Cuddy Sark.
And some cutties.
Cuddy Sark, yeah. And a little bit of De Cooper's mint, just
Some Lloyd's creamed
blackberry
milk.
brandy. He had the same bottle since I was a kid.
And a little bit of Vinny's port wine that he likes
I love the port wine,
that he
dude.
likes to nightcap with.
Just a Tony port.
The other, I forgot to mention.
Quick
this.
shout out, y'all. It's May 16th. We'll be having, which is also known as Beach Bum Week. We'll be having Sydney Lance on the podcast from Rootman.
From Rootman
Check him out on
Concoctions.
Instagram, Rootman,
Oh,
RHOOT.
RHOOT. Also, I'll be having on the second podcast, From Behind the Drum Kit, I'm going to have our friends, the Brown Goose Band.
I
From
love you, boy.
From
We love the Brown Goose
Tallahassee,
Band.
Florida. So I'm going to do some.
They better start following us on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I followed that.
Before you start,
will.
hit play.
Everybody's not. We're not firing these cameras up
All of y'all do
until
this.
you follow us
In
back.
fact, text your girlfriends, make them do it too.
But I'm
Shout out
gonna,
to Bacon Park Golf Course for following us too.
I know. I put out the golf story the other day, and I guess somehow in the ether,
They
like,
found it and are like, oh, this guy likes golf.
well, I used to know a guy that worked there. I don't know if he still works
We
there
should drink all
anymore.
night one night and actually go play golf at Bacon Park, all 3 of us.
I'm great after a night of drinking. I play better when I'm super hungover because if I do go to Bacon Park, they got tall boys at Old Milwaukee.
Oh, God.
Pound 2 of those real
Of course
quick.
they
Pound 2 of them real quick. I'm shooting 105. Best day ever.
So before you could buy alcohol on Sundays in Savannah or in Georgia, you'd either A, go to South Carolina and get it,
Yeah.
or you would just plan ahead.
Yeah.
Or there was like a couple people I knew in the hood that would stock up and sell it to you for like double the price.
I knew guys that they would be a vodka bottle, but it would have bourbon in it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
they're making their own.
Yeah,
I
you
think
would
it's
just go
called
to a house
moonshine.
and they would, yeah.
So what we would do is we would send our friend Brian, whose dad worked at the Hunter Golf Course, and Brian would go to the vending machine at the golf course at 7 in the morning when we've been up all night partying and buy Coors Light Tall Boys out of the vending machine.
There was a vending machine for beer
Coors
at
Light
the
Tall
golf
Boys.
course?
Yeah,
That's
so he would
epic.
go buy like a duffel bag full of Coors Light Tall Boys and come back to the party, and we would drink Coors Light.
What was
Tall
the
Boys.
markup? Was it expensive or
No,
like
it's
about normal
it's on,
price?
It's on base, so it's cheaper.
Good
Yeah.
grief. Everything
Yeah.
on base is because my
what's it called? The
commissary.
I almost said the compensatory, but that's the commissary.
The dispensary. My grandma was a vet, and she used to shop at Hunter Army Airfield. And I just remember
I was like an animal vet.
And I just remember we used to get these things. It was so, now in hindsight, it was so fucking gross. It was a combination in one box. It was a milkshake and a hamburger, but you microwaved them both at the same time. So the milkshake would like sort of melt to the point of being able to drink it, and the hamburger would sort of heat up to the temperature that you would want to eat it.
Oh my god!
What?
Oh my god!
I've never seen it anywhere else in my life, but we got it from the commissary because grandma every week she did the exact same thing. She went to the hairdressers at about 11 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
at the hairdressers, they had one of those old school glass bottle Coca-Cola machines.
Oh my god, I love those.
Where you can only pull one out at the time.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or if you're really strong, you can jack another one out of there. They had one at Redgate Farms when I went to camping when I was in
nice.
elementary school, and there was this guy Steven who was like, a giant for an age in middle school,
Yeah.
and he'd get me an extra new grape.
Nah,
New grape was my
ooh,
jam.
New grape was
It
the
was my
shit.
jam. We should do a new grape
Yeah,
one
yeah.
night. You think of the sugar
Vodka,
rushes?
new grape. I'm down
Let's
for
do
that.
it, man.
Vodka, new grape, and purple.
I'll
Day?
do blue knee-high vodka. Well, actually, we'll get
Double purple.
we'll get three of our childhood purple soda memory.
Okay. Well,
drinks
I
going.
loved root beer as a kid. Remember when they came out with the high gravity root beers or whatever they were called? It was
No.
Fro introduced me to it. What were they called?
Actually,
Not your dad's.
not your dad's root beer.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we had those. For
And
a little bit.
I drank for like a couple of weeks, and then I got on the scale and was like, and I have a pretty regimented diet for the most
yeah.
part, and was like, what am I putting weight on for? And was like, oh, a 6-pack of these has all the calories, fat, and you need for a month.
Did I tell the story last week about the Abita root beer?
Yes, about you almost dying.
So sugary.
You just
Oh,
told
I
us.
did. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
We got to stop talking outside this podcast.
Yeah, for real. Like we said, the only conversation we did.
Save everything.
Well, that's we talk. We got what was it, Thursday night?
I think we chatted for a little
Was it
while.
Thursday night?
Yeah.
Thursday night we chatted at like 2:30 in the morning. So like some of that,
we-
some of that's a little gray.
Well,
I
then
don't know.
well, then I just won't.
I'm
say-
off on Friday, so I get lit on Thursday
I
nights.
definitely grayed out that night. This lady can't. This isn't a Karen. We'll get
Yeah,
to the
because
Karen.
you don't talk on the phone for more than 10 minutes.
I know. Yeah,
unless
to
you're grayed
anyone.
out.
So this lady came in, and she was super sweet. She wasn't a Karen, but everything happened all at once. She comes up. She goes, another bachelorette party, except these were older ladies. So this was like probably like third or fourth marriage, maybe. And she came up. She was like, "Hey, honey," and she wasn't drunk. She's like, I think, it was like 6 in the afternoon. It was probably the first place they had gone. She goes, "Hey, honey, could I just get a Tito's and vodka?" I was like, she goes, "Oh, shit, I said Tito's and vodka."
But it was on accident?
Yeah, she goes, "I meant Tito's and soda." I was like, "Yeah, okay." So then I take her car. I was like, "You want me to keep this open or close it out?" And she goes, "Nah."
Oh, God.
Nah.
You get through everything? Oh, my
I
God.
was like, "You just hit."
And didn't she sloppily sign her credit card and
And then,
slip
no,
too?
no, she signed it perfectly. And then baby Mike's sitting next to me. He goes, "Holy shit, that really just happened? She did Tito's and vodka, and do you want to close out?" And it all happened at the same time.
Nice. That is
At
great.
least she was self-aware, though.
No, I know. She goes, "I said Tito's and vodka, didn't I?" I was like, "Yeah, you did. I knew what you meant, though."
For the first time forever, you were like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Because usually you're like, when I'm there for 4 hours on a random
You
Saturday,
can hear it at least a couple
I
times.
hear it a bunch, and people are like, and they're like, and like they want your reaction, and like, and they want mine too, and like after the third time, I'm like, God, I'll get home and be like, man, Paxton must loathe this,
Bruh, every 5 minutes, if it's not someone who's doing it on purpose, it's someone who's not doing it on purpose.
That's at least you get both.
Well, I guess if people that do it on purpose, well, yeah.
Some people do it on purpose, some people don't. Some people are just accidentally what we know as the
The
Karen of the week.
Oh shit, it's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week. Gosh.
So I'll let you start, Clint, because I don't have.
I've got a Karen
I have a positive
that happened
sermon.
at the same time as a positive shout out.
That's a beautiful thing.
Both in the same room at the same time. I want to shout out my hostess, I don't, for sitting me with a table with a woman that was handicapped. So I have to bring her in the side door. I have to get her out of the chair, put her in the chair. It's a lot of work, and she's at the end of her days. So things aren't going well, so that's a lot of work. And then I also have a blind man and his wife double sat with those two tables. I'm like, do you hate me? Do you hate me? But then I realized
Well, you don't mind public service and helping people.
I love helping people, and I love and
if you
older
get-
people. I love it.
But if you get sat two different,
space it out some. I got other things to do.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Thursday was the longest I think I've been in the weeds since I worked at this restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Since I worked
Yeah.
downstairs at least when I'd have 6 tables.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just can't catch up. But I kind of found out that a blind guy, not that bad. You know why? You tell him the specials, and he's just going to order one of those because you don't have to. He's not reading anything. So it's they're a black couple, and they're like late 50s. Come to find out, one of them works for the city of Atlanta. There was some sort of like alderman meeting or something in Savannah.
Yep.
So I am. These 2 tables are not my priority tables. The other tables are seeing what's happening.
because they take a little more
attention. You butter them up. The other tables are like, oh, look at this, and like that's not what I'm doing that for. But I was noticed.
But that is a thing that.
But it happens.
Occurs.
And
yeah.
since it was there, I might as well. So I'm spending time on them. I'm making sure they have the best experience. My homeboy, the blind dude, has 2 lemon drop martinis with added grenadine. So that's a sugar rim with grenadine in it. So talk about a sugar rush.
Yeah.
2 of those and 2 glasses of wine. So he got a little lit. Every time he's got to go to the bathroom, she has to take him. So it's.
Sure.
It's a thing.
a
Then he opens the bathroom
operation.
door the last time and goes, anybody in there? And he yells into the bathroom. I'm usually when he's
awesome.
alone, and I was like, all right. So I am, but I mean, look, I treat almost every table like they're gods. So, but even this one,
At least to start with.
and and they were dressed nice, and like they seem relatively cultured. So I'm giving them, I was having a rough day because of some other stuff I'll mention later, and so it made me feel better to just overly massage this table. So they got the A++ Clint treatment.
Yeah.
I am everything I can do. Let them taste every wine they have. Like they have 6 tastes of wine with 6 different glasses. Like things I don't normally. I'm like, just finish that up, order more than that one.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm like, I'm giving them the full
Yeah,
rundown. This happens with some tables. I give them the check, and then her attitude changes. Not his, because we don't have Braille checks. And then her attitude gets a little weird.
Yeah.
They sat down at 8. It's 9:50. The other table has already left. It's 9:50. You've been there for 3 hours.
Wow.
I give them the check. Then I come back at 10. Oh, are we ready to get that? No, we're okay. All right. So, but she's got it on her side with her purse on top of it, so she's guarding it. As they get up to go to the bathroom, I'm like, mind if I run that for you? She goes, there's nothing in there, so why would you? And I'm like, okay. She's all of a sudden gotten rude with me. I'm like, well, this is weird. Goes to the bathroom, comes back, sits down. It's 10:10. Finally, here's a credit card. That's when I see the corporate thing for alderman. That's a corporate credit card. When you have a corporate card, you can tip 20% on a corporate card because that's what your corporation allows you to do. Instead, Karen tips me 14%. And this is a $200 tab. I have done everything. I've gone
weird
above and
number.
beyond. Everything I can possibly. It was just to close that to get to 200. But like, I've done so much for you, and you've been here for 3 hours and 15 minutes at this point. And so I go back and take the check from them because she was acting so weird. I was like, I want to see what's in here, and so I get it, and like I'm like, this bitch. So they're still sitting at 10:30. I do have another 4-top that's there, so like sometimes when there's another table in the room,
people there.
There's 2 other tables, and another girl had a table. I had 2 tables, and another girl had a table, and I was like, you go, I got them. They would sit there. They had no water left. They've been there so damn long. But sometimes when there's another table in the room, people will hang out longer because they feel like they're not the last one.
Yeah, because if they're not alone in there, then yeah.
She takes them to the bathroom again. I pretend I don't see them. I clear their table off. So they'll get the hell out. Because if they go, then everybody else goes.
He's not going to notice.
Exactly. He wasn't going to notice shit. And the hostess is like, well, is this cane still there? They're sitting down. I'm like, let me do this because I can pretend I didn't know.
Yeah.
And,
you pretend you didn't see.
I didn't see. Yeah. I was blind to the truth.
All right. We've
we've
really
done
gone
these
to hell
blind jokes here,
sorry.
Paxton. So
You started it. I learned it by watching you.
Stop playing with that guy's dick. So yeah, y'all can't see it, but Paxton's touching some dude's wiener.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
they finally go. I'm just like, fine, you're gone, whatever. In the midst of this happening, I've gone from I'm kissing her ass in a good mood to having a tragic moment. The woman I'm waiting on is in a wheelchair. She can't use both of her legs. I had to get her in the back door.
This is another table.
This is the other handicapped table.
Yeah.
The last time I had dinner with my mom in a restaurant was at Circa. I had to get my mother, who had breast cancer that spread to her first her female organs, later on to her bones.
Yeah.
And it got to her lower back. She lost the use of her legs. So for months and months, I had, as y'all both know, I had to help
doing
my
this.
mom do everything in her life until
Yep.
I finally hired a nurse after a couple of months because it was getting, it's humiliating to her for me to have to do the things I
Yeah.
had to do.
Oh.
And eventually you lose control of everything. She was the whole, it was just
Yeah.
bad. So I'm bringing her in the door, the memories come flooding back. My mom's birthday was the 22nd. It was the first year I didn't cry on a birthday. And so I'm feeling some sort of way. They're sitting down for 10 minutes. The woman spills water all over herself. The man claims it was his fault. It wasn't. But, like, she's wet. I'm trying to get her dried off. And we took her out of the wheelchair and put her in the chair because, as I did with my mom, it makes you feel like you're more of a regular person.
Yeah, yeah.
And
any sort of normalcy just helps the vibe.
This is my favorite table all year, basically. So it reminds me so much, and I know what he's going through.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's trying to, she's faking the funk the best she can. But I didn't ask what was wrong with her because if it had been the same thing, I would have been just a waterfall of emotions.
And that's not for you to ask. You know.
And I've been weeded. It's been a rough day. My dog was sick. A bunch of stuff happened on Thursday to me. It was just I wasn't having the best damn day, and I just couldn't. I was a little stressed out. And we put her back in that wheelchair, and she looked at me and she said, "Thank you." And cry again.
Yeah.
I ran to the bathroom and started crying. I pushed past a server that was going to go. I was like, "Move!"
Yeah.
And went in there, closed the door, and just unloaded for like 5 or 6 minutes.
Because how close to that memory was that? I mean,
to my birthday, all of that was just
in the same restaurant.
Yes.
In a wheelchair, the same affliction.
The same. It was all just so much.
Wow. Yeah.
Tough, buddy.
So it overwhelmed me, and then this Karen. Then that happens.
That was after.
So that they left before. I couldn't help. I wanted to help her get out the door, but I couldn't because I didn't want to be just. I mean, I was
breaking up,
heaving.
No, you're doing it now.
Try not to.
No, I understand, but that's how visceral it is.
Yes,
like, you're even doing it now, and it's been a week.
It's been a week, and it just. But it felt so much, and so I come back out and like I wear glasses, thank God, so you can kind of hide that. And when my mother passed or when she was sick, I would cry at work a lot because it just it gets to you. Okay. But I walk out and the manager's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Nope." She's like, "Got you finally?" I was like, "I did." She's like, "I didn't want to bring it up because everybody that had worked with me when my mom was alive was dancing around it without saying anything because they knew."
Oh, as it was going on, they could
see just the whole situation looked
that
very similar.
It was very similar.
And they're my friends, they know, so they were kind of like, "Let's not bring this up." And then when I cried, she brought it up, and so I'm like,
but they were all aware. But they were all kind of being like,
the ones that knew me were aware. That knew me, my mom were aware. So they're trying to avoid saying anything that triggered me because they know.
Well, and it's the worst thing because some people want to grief. What's it called? Like
grief clout. I don't know.
Grief clout, something like that. Where they're like, "Hey, I know this about this person." It's like, "Hey, I bet you feel bad about your mom." Like trying to pretend like they're closer to you than they actually are.
Yeah.
When really they're just stirring up bullshit. Emotion.
To get emotion. So so shout out to this girl Dream. In the night, downstairs tearing paper, and she walks down there and goes, "I wanted to wait till everybody was gone. Just give me a damn hug right now."
Damn.
And she grabs me and pulls me in, and I mean, I just again,
yeah.
And she's a sweetheart. She's philanthropic. She does a lot of cool stuff in the community. She's a great woman, but she just gave me this super good. It's the hug I needed.
Yeah,
and I cried for like 5 minutes,
and it wasn't for adulation.
We're downstairs where it's hot.
Yeah.
And there's nobody around, just me and her.
It's not for adulation.
And I'm listening to Bill Burr podcast while I'm tearing paper, so I'm crying to Bill Burr. So shout out Bill Burr.
Bill Burr made me cry again.
This time without touching me though.
What I loved about that night is Clint he called me and he was like, "I need to go out for a drink," and I was like, "Awesome, I'm out. It's Thursday night. I'm hanging out at my bar social club," and he wants to come hang out with me, and I already knew. We had a couple guys there. Jack O'Connor, we love you, Jackie boy. Baby Jack, he was with some friends who all listen to the podcast, and they came and told me they listen to the podcast. So Clint comes up, and like he sits down. He's in a bad mood. I'm giving him hugs. He's like, I just want to have a drink. And like 3 people come up to Clint immediately and like, "Hey, you're Clint. Like you're on the podcast. Like we love the podcast." It's like it's one of the really the reasons our listeners, you don't know, just coming up to us to say that you talk.
Yeah,
that you like
really
our
look
like to see his face
Ryan,
and be like,
shout out to Ryan
because
Ryan was like, he heard me talking and was like, "Wait a minute, you're Clint from the podcast," and I was like, "Yeah." He goes,
"Oh wow,
look at your voice," and like. That literally, dude, you don't know how much better that made my day.
Like, it was
you could
so
have no
awesome.
idea because I was having the worst day I probably
and they had no idea that you were having the worst day ever.
And my day was so bad I went to social club. Okay.
And he always talks shit. He's like, "Why are you at social?" I was like, "I love it. It's weird." He's like, "There's so many weird people there, but you show up there, and then like all these people are like, 'Oh my God, you're Clint!' Like you're on the podcast. Like it's really cool." Sometimes
the combination of that and the pho that I got from Boomies when I left really changed my day.
Of course it was.
What if he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Going to get pho."
What if they had been out of pho that day? He'd be like, "Never fucking mind." I'm like,
oh my! I may have driven to it like Jacksonville or to get 24-hour pho.
I would have flew to Vietnam.
Actually, a little secret tip: Clint always keeps at least 2 quarts of pho in the freezer in case things go wrong. In case something happens and I can't get pho, I can thaw out pho. I have noodle. I have everything I need to make pho.
So it's not just the broth?
I don't have all the time is basil. I got cilantro. I keep cilantro and green onions on
It's got
hand.
to be Thai basil too.
It's got to be. But you know who's got basil? My stepmom. And I would not be above going into her garden at 2 in the morning to get some basil.
In your golf gear.
No. Dress up like a gardener.
Gardener.
Put on gloves.
Put on gloves.
And a bandana.
Speaking of cosplay, Vinny, do you have a Darren or a Karen?
Speaking of cosplay, oh man, I gotta open this beer for this one. Because Clint's kind of making me do it, but it's true. Our Darren of the week is Paxton.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of birthdays, it's Daniel Rapasoli's birthday on Sunday, and her son's was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And on the last podcast, somebody was like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to be there."
Yeah.
And somebody's girlfriend showed up too.
And somebody texted me at night, and they were like, what time are you going? And I left Clint, and Clint got pissed off at me because I went to the party early to make sure Paxton could be there from 2 to 3, and he wanted someone to hang out with. And I showed up like, where's Paxton? And they're like, he's not here. And I was like, well, I guess I'm Spider-Man today and Paxton's Uncle Ben. Because
Yeah, Paxton's cosplaying as Batman's parents at the party.
So I texted Vinny.
Oh, we don't need your excuses.
we love you. We love you. We couldn't let you get away with
I
it.
thing.
texted Vinny at 4
He was
a.m.
Darren, you were Darren, and then you're Darren again.
You know what?
We need to keep track of when
But
we're
no, even then he texted me, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm about to go to bed. It's like 4 a.m. I got to be at the party in the morning. He's like, don't think I'm trying to keep you up all night.
I know. He goes, hey, I'm about to hit
I saw the
sack.
text.
I was like, whoa.
I know.
The
It's
disrespect.
the thing is, it's because
by the
Paxton's
way,
the one.
You can text me at any time at 4 a.m. I will always respond, but I'm going to let you know.
The thing
like,
is,
hey,
Paxton's
I'm
always the
laid
one that
down.
ends the conversation at 4 a.m. So Vinny did it to him. He was like,
When
how
you texted
dare
me, I
you?
was like,
We had a 3-way conversation with Paxton on the phone, and it was like, he's like, guys, I'm done with y'all.
It lasted like 15 minutes. It was just too much for him.
When someone tells me, hey, gotta let you go, I'm like,
What?
I was.
So
The
speaking of
disrespect.
having to let you go, last night at about 11:45, not about, it was, Danielle texted you, or you texted her, sorry I couldn't make it to the party.
No, she texted me. She goes, hey, I heard you were gonna try and come to the party, but traffic and everything. I was just
AJ Baker came to the party with his son,
Braden.
Braden, who's 17, who had to go to take him to Whole Foods to meet his dad to go to school the next day. Forgot his shirt. AJ Baker drove back to Tybee, back to town. He drove to town, Tybee, back and back to get a shirt for a kid. And I was like, look, how much are those shirts? He's like, $40. I'm like, this kid's big as hell now. He's getting a new shirt today. Or
Right,
tomorrow,
yeah.
I might have a new shirt. Just buy it big.
one size extra.
Because I met him at the draft last year, and he was a boy. And then I met him yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm Clint. He goes, yeah, I'm Braden. We met him. You're a man now.
He's like 6'3" now.
He's taller than me.
There's certain kids that there's between the ages of 16 and
I saw him
17.
in August.
Yeah.
And since August, he's grown like 5 inches and half a mustache. Just one half, though. It's weird. Because
just
sideways
a very
Hitler.
well-behaved young man.
Very nice kid.
Good
Very
stuck.
nice kid.
Good stuck, that
Very
boy.
nice kid.
That's
So
great.
yeah. So
good
speaking
stuck,
of this,
that Braden boy.
so you returned her text at 11:45, I guess.
So, yeah, maybe.
So you returned the text.
Oh,
to
I
her.
returned it, and then I got a call, and I was like,
Oh no. So we're all sitting there, and Danny and Vinny are like, "Call him," and I'm like, "Guess who's not answering the phone right now?"
I remember none of this.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to wait to tell this story for Vinny to hear it live. I need this. This is actually bringing me back.
He was
to
like,
this.
you don't remember this story I want to tell, and I was like, oh my god, what did I do? And he's like, nothing.
No, I was like, I'll tell you later. He's like, damn it, Tim, I want to know now. I'm like, it's not that bad, or is it? So
Shit.
they're like, call him right now. Danny and Vinny are both. Neither one of them remember this. Call him. And I'm like, he's not answering right after he sent a text. He knows what we're doing. He knows he's in trouble.
I was still at work, too.
Yeah. And so they're like, all right, I'm going to try to call him. I'm like, guys, they're like, you should call him. I'm like, you know how hard it is to get Paxton on the phone when you need him? I'm not abusing that by calling him right now. Because Paxton's not a moron, y'all. And they were all drunk enough to be like, no, he'll answer you. I'm like, the thing is, if you hadn't called him and I had called him and give him 30 minutes, he might have answered the phone.
Yeah,
But I'm not
possibly.
doing that to you because then next time I need to actually call you or something, you're like, this is a
Swear,
setup.
This dude's just going to call me every night.
Yeah, this is a setup.
When
This
he's
is
drunk.
some kind of setup. I was going because I drank a fifth of vodka, but I didn't want to drive. Shout out to Eminem. But it was from 3 to midnight, so I was like,
yeah.
I could drive, but I literally went to the bathroom to pee at like 11:15 and was like, drink a fifth of vodka, dare me to drive, and was like, don't do it, dude. You're gonna get a DUI if you get pulled over. Like I could have driven safely, but I would have been over the limit.
Yeah.
And the whole time the cop was talking to me, I'd have been like, just Eminem in my head.
Isn't it funny how alcoholic we are? We're like, I only drink a fifth between the hours of 3 p.m. and 12 a.m. I'll probably be okay.
That's not really that bad.
I'm
That's
saying
2 shots
though,
an hour.
I'm saying though, it's the truth, honestly.
Yeah. I'm also driving like 2 miles.
Yeah.
But so I call an Uber, I order an Uber. It takes a little bit. It's going to be like 25 minutes. Well, these fools are like, call them again. And I'm like, don't. And they're like, let's go to
I
Tybee.
remember nothing of this.
Shut
They're
up.
like, Danny and Vinny are like, let's go to Tybee.
No.
And I'm like, guys, y'all don't need to be in public at all, even if it's Huckapoos. So you can be at Huckapoos. I mean, that's where the only place I get wasted is Huckapoos.
Yeah.
Because I feel safe there. And like something bad happens, somebody will take care of me. But these two are like, one eye open, looking
Let's
like
go to
winky.
Tybee.
That sounds
Tybee.
exactly like something I would say blackout drunk on a Sunday
Let's
night.
confront. Let's go confront Paxton for not being at the party.
I'm going to put on my Spider-Man costume and I'm going to go to Tybee.
That would have been the best.
Hey, Uncle Ben, where you been?
Yeah. And then me in the back going, I'm sorry. Like somehow you would have escaped for screwing up and not coming. You would have been.
That would have made me the Darren. For sure.
Yeah, for me showing up with them. Because Danielle couldn't have come because the kid was there. So it would have been me, Danny, and Vinny.
So from the time
Can you imagine my cab ride?
oh God.
Danny, real talking.
Here's the thing, though. From the time of the call, from the time of the call, by the time I left work, by the time you guys tried to call me while I was still at work,
20 minutes.
I probably left like 20 minutes later. So y'all would have got to Pooh's like literally 10 minutes after I had
you
left.
see this
there.
started running.
And then we would have showed up here.
Oh yeah, we would have definitely walked down here. All the lights are off.
Danny would be like, we'll walk to
No,
his
you got
house.
real talk about trails. You were up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've
we
never.
could have had the Real Talk Olympics. We could have had the Real Talk Olympics.
I never have locked this door of my house ever, but I would have come home.
Don't tell people you don't lock your door, you idiot. We put equipment in here.
What?
Now you gotta lock your door.
I don't lock my door at P.O. Box 191, Tybee Island, Georgia 313.
P.O. Box is open.
If you would like to send
You
us,
steal my
anything.
mail. It's wide open. So this story gets better still. So after I'm like, no.
we're not going to
And they're
Tybee.
like, why not? I'm like, here's the first problem: is getting off the island. Because they're getting off Tybee on a Sunday after 12:30. Because I was like, we're going to show up. He's going to leave in 10 minutes. And they're like, nah, we'll get him to hang out. I'm like, okay, sure. You'll get Paxton to hang out on a Sunday night. He's working Thursday,
While
Saturday,
we're talking.
Sunday, while you two guys are in Blackoutville, Real Talk Nation. Yeah.
Wearing a Spider-Man costume.
Wearing a Spider-Man costume. Which Vinny, by the way, when Vinny does Spider-Man, he has to stretch for like 15 minutes before he puts it on.
It's so
you
bad.
Because look, here's the thing. Vinny has to do this. He has to squat
Oh,
a
that's
whole
the-
ton.
Yeah, it's a pose.
Because last time he did it, I was like, make sure you stretch. He's like, oh, yeah.
There's the
Oh, yeah, I
Slav
gotta
squat
stretch.
and then the Spider-Man
He was
squat.
gone for 15 minutes. I came back. I was like, you know where he's been?
He's
Stretching.
been stretching.
But it's a smart move. It's a stretch.
Drinking Budweiser and stretching before I go play with a bunch of kids.
He only
It's
had that thing on
awesome.
about 25 minutes. So while he's got it on, also I looked up the cost of a Spider-Man at a birthday party for an hour in Lansing, Michigan. This was the first Google that popped up.
Yeah.
$220.
You got to get on that Spider-Man game.
Dude, I'm thinking of it's so much fun.
This
though,
dude
like-
he goes, what if I just outsource it to a skinny kid for $100 and keep the difference? I was like, let's do it.
That's a hustle.
It's a
That's a
business
pyramid
model.
Let's
scheme,
do
baby.
it. We gotta get you a better costume, a little bit better Spider costume. But like, he did 30 minutes and he's like, I'm hot. I'm like, I want a picture.
That's like the story that there's this Chinese hitman, and he charged like 10 grand or something. So this guy was like,
Can
"Hey,
you outsource it?"
He goes, he knows a guy who would do it for $5 grand. So he outsourced it to the $5 grand guy. The $5 grand guy goes, I know a guy that'll do it for $2 grand. So it goes down
Yes.
the line.
Yeah.
4 hitmen. It goes down the line. They all end up getting busted because the last one was an undercover cop. So
What? Their frugality
so
got him?
every
They were Chinese or Jewish? Would you say?
no, they were Chinese. Yeah.
Sorry,
I was
a Jewish hitman.
I was like, he goes, how much? 5,000? Did you say it was 4,000? What? $3,000? That's crazy.
For $2,500, I'll do it. So, this doesn't stop.
Okay.
Did I do more?
yes. So the thing is,
That was Spider-Man.
so-
Leave him alone.
yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility, damn it.
With great blood alcohol content comes terrible responsibility.
BAC Olympics.
The BAC Olympics. That's why I texted you last night. They were having, Danny and Vinny were having the BAC Olympics.
That's exactly what he says. He goes, you didn't want to see them having their BAC Olympics.
We wanted to see how much we could drink and not eat all day. It's not our.
Yeah, I do. Because I go in the house, I come out with like a cup full of coleslaw, with a bunch of mayonnaise, and they're like, "Are you eating coleslaw and mayonnaise?" I'm like, "I'm hungry, guys." And
I
they're
need
like,
something.
"They're like, I'm just drinking Budweiser," and I'm like, "Okay." Danny was like leaving Miller Lights everywhere. Danielle was drinking the beers that he just left. I would be like, "Danielle, I found another one." She's like, "No, thanks." Like, and it'd be everywhere. So like,
It's only got 2 sips out of it, and it's still cold. So.
we did clean up their house for them as much as we could. But so
'Cause we love y'all.
So we're trying to go, and Vinny's like, "No, we're gonna have it." I'm like, "All right, look, Uber pulls up. It is the nicest Uber I've ever been in. It's a full size, big body Lincoln, like a 2020.
Really?
Super nice guy.
He's like, really? He rode the motherfucker.
This
He don't
guy
remember.
had the Hyatt 4.99. This guy had the highest rating I've ever seen of a driver.
So he must have driven it 1,000 times and only had 1 4-star.
I mean, it was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing. And so, but to get in, the door handle's not where it would normally be. It's like up on the side. It takes Vinny a few.
He's like, "Is this touchscreen, man?"
Enough that he just came around to my side and got in.
I just came over to your side again.
Yeah, but I make him sit
You
behind
already
the
had the door
driver.
open.
I sit behind the passenger because I got longer legs. But I got in that car. It didn't matter where you sat. I stretched my legs all the way out in this big body.
wow.
And so, as you do, I'm talking to the Uber because my friend can't talk to himself because he's too drunk. Vinny's like,
I'm not going to deny. Like
he goes, I need to go get some cigarettes. And I'm like, no, you don't. You're not going to smoke any before you go to bed. He's like, I need cigarettes. So I'm like, all right, will you stop Circle K? And the guy's like, yeah, sure. So, if you're familiar with Savannah,
This is
River
like
Oaks,
12:30, maybe.
it's like
something?
12:15.
Yeah.
And so we're on the way. River Oaks, Circle K. You know how far that is, Vinny?
It's not far at
It's
all.
half a mile. Vinny's like, I got to squeeze in a nap.
Always.
Just,
Once I'm in the car, I'm comfortable. Like
no, it's not.
I've got
Come
Clint
here.
and I've got to ride home.
Yeah, here's Vinny's nap there.
Narcolepsy.
You're not leaned back.
He's got
you
car-
always pass out forward.
Carcolepsy.
Narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy.
So-
Great. And
So-
I woke up on my couch at like 4:30 a.m. with a full pack of cigarettes, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Not one
Clint.
smoked out of it.
No,
Not one.
I was like,
You at least
"Fuck
walk your
yeah."
dog. when you get home, I hope.
cigarette.
So we get Circle K. Vinny goes, I don't go in. I'm like, and to get out of this car, there's like you have to push a button, not open, but push a button for the door to open, and it like happens and it pulls itself open. And Vinny's over there. I'm like, I'll get it.
Please don't
And
touch it.
He goes, give me some beer. And I'm like, okay, sure. I walk
You
in.
said this wasn't going to be embarrassing.
I look over at the beer. It's Sunday. It's Monday morning at 12:15. You can't buy beer.
Yeah.
So I look over there. It's dark. There's no beer. So I get the cigarettes, get back in the car, and I hand him cigarettes, and I wait for the question of
Where's the beer?
No.
when
What
we get
beer?
to his house, his apartment complex, and I'm like, you gonna ask for the beer? He's like, where is the beer? I was like, "There's the beer." He goes to get out.
Hey.
He can't get out. The guy has to get out and let him out.
Thank you, man.
That's why he's got the four.
That's why the Uber was $25 because I tipped him $7.
Yeah.
If you got a 4.99, that's the service that you give, I guess.
So speaking of being late or not coming to a party, I'll finish with this story. So I've told a story about being humbled by a woman and stop playing with that man's dick. Speaking of that man's dick, this is about my balls.
Hey yo.
So I worked out yesterday. I've got I'm 40. I got some ailments here and there. I'm working through. So I put BioFreeze on my tendonitis.
Yep.
And for reason my trap is sore from sleeping. I think Thursday night drunk, and a little bit on my back. I did back and biceps. I go to put on my underwear. I start getting dressed and realize that I didn't wash my hands enough. I now have BioFreeze ball, right testicle BioFreeze ball, and it is not going away. I am trying to leave to go to this birthday party. I cannot leave. I have to get back in the shower. So I take, because regular soaps, you need dish soap is what you best to get BioFreeze off your hands or any of that stuff.
Okay.
Because it's more acidic, basically.
That's why they use it on baby
more
ducks
basic,
covered in oil.
Yeah, it breaks down the molecules of an oil substance. I'm not going to nerd out on you guys. I can explain to you if you want to know the acid basic part, but whatever. So I have to get in the shower, but I've learned, because this has happened one time before, you protect your taint. So I take a towel, put the towel on the taint. My super clean washed hands hold my wang, and then I use the other hand and the Dawn dish soap in the bathroom to wash gently but carefully that one testicle.
How bad did the shower foam up? Because if you use
A tremendous amount. So then I've got to wash off my lower body because I've got Dawn dish soap everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I get to the party, I'm like, well, I am super, super clean.
Yeah.
And Danny's like, you were going to be here? I'm like, I'll tell you about it. And he goes, tell me now. I'm like, there's women around. He goes, don't care. I'm like, it was about my balls. He goes, oh. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that's when I knew he was going to black out at 11 o'clock. But see, Danny's excuse is better than Vinny's. Danny got up at 4 o'clock to put on pork butts.
And y'all still didn't eat all day? Just drink
And I ate
Budweiser?
all day.
I ate some stuff.
Danny did smoked pork butts, smoked turkey legs.
It's like 30 turkey legs.
Turkey legs.
Oh, wow.
Vinny had to leave at 6 o'clock to go to gender reveal, but they had Domino's pizza, so he ate that. Not the other stuff.
I ate a little barbecue. I never got a turkey leg. I saved one, but I didn't take it home.
Sometimes when you're hungry, you're hungry. And that's
But
it.
I mean, I ate a bunch because I ate a turkey leg, and then I ate barbecue, and then they're like, "You just keep eating." I'm like, "I'm hungry."
Yeah.
It
You know,
worked
this
out.
is a party.
I fasted until 4 o'clock.
There's a party with food at it. I'm probably going to, unless you bring like.
I don't eat cake.
I do, but like I work Tuesday through Saturday, so Sunday's like my
Yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday.
So sometimes it gets a little turn up.
Yeah. Well, no, but it's
I'm not
like-
hating. Look, you get fucked up on a
Yeah.
Saturday,
Whatever,
Sunday.
yeah.
You know, it happens. I'm there to take care of you
Yeah.
more often than not on most of those Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got your back, bro.
And sometimes
I
I'll
love you,
not
Love
eat
you
on
too, brother.
purpose, not to get more effed up, but so that when I take my sleeping Xanax, it works better. Because if you take Xanax on a
See,
full
I fast, so like I only eat an 8-hour period most days.
Yeah.
But like, so I get it in though. I
Yeah.
get it in that time frame.
Well, the thing is, I fast like 3 days a week, but it's a 24-hour fast because I go to work and party.
Yeah.
Speaking of party, Pat's gonna be on Fortnite now.
I fast on Sundays.
Yeah, I'm a religious man. Yeah, and I
I'm a
adhere
man
to
of the
fa-
cloth. It's Ramadan, right?
Shabbos, sir. I do not bowl on Shabbos.
Happy Ramadan, El Barika.
So we'll
yeah.
finish off with this last positive shout out. So a couple ladies came in. One of them was so English, I thought it was a bit.
Every time they're English, you get so excited, don't you?
Man, she goes, "Oh, hey, darling," and
you're like,
"But I get
yeah.
a fucking one of them bow rock cides." I'm trying to do the worst accent because it was so deep Yorkshire
This is
accent.
Brad Pitt's mom from Snatch.
Yeah, she was a pikey for sure, but she was super sweet. So her friend, her two friends were American, whatever, U.S. They didn't have an accent. And she goes, she held up a picture of this guy. She was like, do you remember this guy? Have you ever seen this guy before? I was like, yeah, he looks familiar.
Charlie Classic.
So I was like, he seems familiar. What did he drink? Because, I can remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She was like, I think he drank like this and that. I was like, yeah, I think I've seen him before. She was like, well.
It wasn't High Noon.
It wasn't High Noon,
High Noon,
watermelon.
Curacao, and
She
vodka?
goes, well, he came up here every summer for 10 years, and he always told me about this place. And we never came because every time we visited Savannah, we always went to like North Beach or this or that, whatever. And he passed this year. So we wanted to come up here to celebrate.
Was it John?
No. To celebrate his whatever. She was like, this is our first time here. Before she ever said that, they had spent like an hour there. And these were three ladies that the moment I saw them, I was like, just like you and the blind guy? Or the wheelchair lady?
Yeah.
Immediately when I saw him, I gave him like the super A++.
Yeah, I got a sweet spot for anybody that's in some sort of physical deformity. I got it. Look, I don't like babies. I can't. I've changed 1,000 adult diapers. I have changed 0 baby diapers in my life. I don't.
Well, see, they didn't
mess
have
with kids.
disabilities. I'm just
Fend for
saying,
yourself, child.
I'm just saying, I saw them and I was like, I know I'm gonna like these people. They seem sweet. So I went way ahead in the extra mile. And then like after an hour of that, they were like, this is my brother. He came here every summer. And I was like, they were like, this is my first time. I was like, this is I was like,
At least you're just super sweaty. So you're like, I'm crying. I'm just sweating.
that's the thing.
My eyes are sweating.
I only changed once, my shirt once.
Did you give him? You gonna make my eyes rain? You gonna make my balls biofreeze?
I did have to step out for 1 second because they were like, this is everything he told us it would be. You know what I mean?
That's
like
so awesome.
Because typically.
Did you go to the cooler like I did when I cried there? That one time you made me cry at Huckapoo?
I didn't go to the
We've
club.
told this story, I think, before,
Yeah.
but you played My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine, which is the song my mom sang me before bed every night when I was a kid. And, like, I went in the cooler and was, unlike other people in the cooler, I was only in there to cry.
But that's the main thing to do in the cooler is cry.
To cry.
Yeah.
I mean, and Eric was like, you okay? I'm like, close the door.
Close the door,
He's
damn
like,
it.
what's going on?
He's
And I'm
like, I don't care if you're doing drugs. He's like, no, I'm crying.
crying because I don't want to hear the music. And so, like, afterwards, I was like, hey, man, I told you. And you're like, I'll never play that song again when you're here. I'm like, thank you, because it'll make me cry. Because I was like, do I run off the property? But thing is, sometimes you can get very far and still hear the song.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to be running and crying. I want to be cold and crying.
My cry run. That
I want my tears to freeze to my face. Unlike the biofreeze to my balls, which was such an event.
Well, thank you guys.
Sorry if
again.
we rubbed you guys the wrong way.
Hey, thank you guys for listening again this week. We love you. Check us out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Paxton Eugene. All of our social medias are up there. Please help us out on Patreon, patreon.com/FromBehindTheBarcast.
We got double Patreons coming next week, and the following week with Sydney will probably be the drunkest Patreon we've had.
Really?
Well, he's gonna make cocktails on air.
You are going to make,
We're gonna cocktails there. No, you're gonna drink too, because we're gonna Uber back.
Yeah, I will. All right.
We're gonna
Yeah,
use
I'm
the
down. I'm
Patreon
down.
money.
We're going to use Patreon money to get it. So if you don't subscribe to Patreon, someone's going to drive drunk and it'll be your
Someone
fault.
might drive drunk. It'll be your fault.
Vinny, what is
Scott
the
Jacobs.
F count, my man?
It was
I saw you didn't mark down one of your own, Vinny.
I didn't mark down. I had 4. Did I have 5?
I don't know.
I mean,
Sure.
if that's the case, you and I tied. I'll take a tie with
Then
you.
that's the
5.
case.
Wait,
If that's the case. You know what? Fuck you. I'll win.
the best way
We're all champions here.
What did I have?
You only had 2 plus.
I had 3. You missed one of mine. I saw
damn
you
it.
not write it down. I was like,
Y'all just talk so sweet. Like,
I wasn't going to bring it up.
pay attention.
There was a lot of tender moments.
There was. But that's the best way to win, is to F you.
And I have way better Uber drunken stories than that, too.
Look, I can't
Yeah,
tell. So
so
we'll,
do
you.
we'll have to Patreon then.
So, subscribe to our Patreon, and maybe you can. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys.
We love ya.
Quality episode.